Hello, family. Welcome to another beautiful Sunday night when I tell you I have four fabulous, wonderful, exciting, deep thinking women for you that don't even really put it all together. So I'm going to start bringing them to the stage one at a time. Oh, that's also great, but I'm going to go in alphabetical order so we can be in order. All right, Miss Reba Bell, come on up to the. Oh, everybody's here. Everybody's here. I was going to bring them up one at a time. Okay, but we'll start with Reba Bell. Reba Bell, can you introduce yourself and tell the family a little bit about your journey?
Hi, my name is Reba Bell, and I am a new author of A Blessing in Disguise. And it's a book about domestic violence to help domestic violence survivors overcome domestic violence and to live happier, healthier lives. My journey with domestic violence has been a story of my history from my past to the childhood to up until my marriage currently now. And I just wrote a book to help and inspire survivors that you can overcome domestic violence and how you can overcome domestic violence through my book. So that's what my book is about.
Excellent, 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 excellent. All right, Miss Saundra Golden.
Hi, I'm Saundra Golden. I am the author of Make It Stop, a young woman's guide to overcome or prevent dating abuse. I wrote my book because I wanted to shed light on this travesty that happens to our teen and our young women. I am a survivor of dating abuse and wanted to just inform them, parents, single fathers who are with their spouses that have girls, just to let them know, parents in general, that we have to educate them on how to prevent this. And if they've already experienced, how we can help them to overcome it and live productive lives and building their self-esteem and confidence.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I want you to know that we will be having both Saundra and Nicole on future shows. And then Reba Bell and Fallon, you guys are already familiar with them because they've already been on the show. So if you missed their episodes, please go back and check it out because they were fabulous. I mean, just absolutely wonderful. Okay, Nicole Hawkins, you are alphabetically next. Please take yourself off of mute.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Hawkins. I am an author of a book called Caregiving, a practical approach to finding the joy in your journey. The reason why I wrote the book was because my husband started going through cancer, and it just kind of really devastated us a little bit because at the age of 42, not that you can't have cancer any other time, but we were just such in a pivotal relation. Like our relation, we've been together for 23 years. So our relationship was actually blossoming more and more. I don't know what it was about him in our relationship, but it was actually on a different level. We were starting to really grow into each other, and then boom, cancer hit. And, I know that other people are going through different things, but for us, it was a devastating blow. Not knowing what's going to happen, the first thing you do when you hear the C word is think of death. And that was, literally on my mind most times because you don't know what's actually going to happen when you hear cancer. But, I just think we have a different spin. Sometimes the media can really trigger those thoughts of, thinking that you're going to pass away from something like this when people actually do be cared from things like this. So that was my whole point, was to actually focus on the caregiving aspect, because caregiving is a very, very, very difficult thing. And a lot of people don't realize it until you're in that moment and in that arena, that, you know, you're like, whoa. Like, and the reason why I actually named it Fuck Caregiving is because that was absolutely my true feelings and my transparency at that moment. And you know, I just wanted to kind of bring light and shed light to the caregiving arena and let people know that they can actually find the joy in their journey if they actually release the ego and actually open their minds and their souls to actually understanding it a little more. So that was, you know, me.
Thank you. You know what? You are really big on finding the joy in your
Yes.
journey. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. When I heard that title, I was like, "What? What? Wait a minute!" I was clutching my pearls, y'all. So if all of a sudden you heard that word and you felt a little bit like that, well, then you're like me. And if you heard that word and you was like, "Go, girl," well, then there you go. Nicole is right with you.
Yes.
All is well. All is well. But once she breaks down her title, it is very enlightening and it is so transparent. And so I really appreciate you. All right,
Thank
Miss. Yes, Miss Fallon. Come on, girl.
Hey, good
Miss
evening.
Fallon MacNeil.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good evening, everyone. Recently, I wrote a children's book about it's called The Missing Puzzle Piece, and it's about a young girl who experiences the loss of her father due to incarceration. And the reason why I wrote this book was because I experienced the same situation. This is about the situation between my daughter, and her father, well, my kids and their father. And I felt like children needed a book to figure out how to cope through these different things. There's not a lot of books out there for our children to read and relate to different things like this. Unfortunately, this is the reality of most homes. A parent incarcerated, or someone may know somebody close to them that is incarcerated. So I didn't write this book to glamorize the situation. It was more so to help kids cope through it, because inside of the book, kids can write down their support system and different things like that. So I plan on continuing on this journey of writing non-traditional children's books about family issues. And so, yeah, I'm excited to share it with everyone and continue to spread the awareness about this topic.
Okay, now Fallon, you've received a lot of traction, a lot of connection with people because it was a subject matter that people were not really talking about. And you're working with schools and the police departments. I mean, just
Yes, it's definitely been a blessing, this journey. I definitely, they say when they some happens, they give you lemon, you make lemonades, and this definitely is my lemonade, because I didn't I was praying that it would continue to touch a lot of different lives, but it's just been touching a lot of different organizations. And thanks to Coach and for connections that I've been receiving, like, I'm just like blessed to continue on to talk about this topic and continue to help people deal with this issue.
all right. That is excellent. So I am blessed to be with you all. We are going to start off with something light. We're going to start off with something light um, first, because you all know I love to laugh. I love to laugh. And I'm going to simply ask, tell me about a time when God made you laugh.
I start. I would say a time when God made me laugh is when I had a whole idea of who I wanted my husband to be at
Yes.
a certain time in my life, and I actually wrote it down. And I had this whole criteria of what I thought my husband would look like, what he would be, what money he would make, what's and when God sent me my husband that I have now, it was so funny because everything, every characteristic that I wanted him to be, he was. But it was everything opposite. I wanted tall, dark, and handsome, and and God, like, that ain't what you need though. I'm gonna send you light brown, light eyes, and I'm gonna send you tall, but I'm gonna send you totally opposite of what you thought you expected. So I would say that would be a time that I still talk about to this day that makes me laugh. My husband was not what I expected, but he was everything that I needed.
You know what? You have shared stories with me about the inner workings of your husband, and it is amazing. He is an amazing man.
Yes, he
So,
is.
God, yes, he knew what he was doing when he sent you your husband. Are you ladies still thinking?
No, I mean I can go.
Okay, good.
Um, I was going to say for me, it was when my husband's going through cancer. Then my daughter has her ITP, which is a very long name, but it's basically she has a blood clotting issue that her blood doesn't
Mhm.
clot. So we have to really be careful, like with cuts and things of that nature. And then at the same time as all of this is going on, my grandfather calls me and he's like, "Oh," and this is a little gross, but he's like he was urinating blood. So I'm like,
Mm.
really, like all this stuff right now, like it's not that I already got to, my husband over here with cancer, my daughter going through her thing. Now I have my grandfather, and it was just like, really, God, like, come on,
Mhm.
like just a little bit. I get it, but just give me a little bit of. So that was to me a laughing moment because he's like, haha, you think you just, you don't think that you are. What's the word I'm looking for? You don't think that you can handle things like that
Okay.
while going through everything. But then again, in the end, you're like, okay, now I get it. We are here for a reason. And sometimes, it is to help other people, to be a vessel. So I understood it a little better. So that was my laughing moment to me at that time.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sandra, you got one for us, girl.
Yeah, my laughing moment is sort of similar to Reba's. After coming out of an abusive dating relationship, I was sort of like, unless God comes down from heaven himself
I know
and
that's
places that man in my lap, I'm done. Don't need him,
Okay.
don't want him. I'm through. It's a wrap. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I met my husband through a mutual friend, we were supposed to meet at a party, but we didn't because he had to work with his dad. So she gave him my phone number. And she played this game back and forth with us. She would call me and ask me, had he called yet? Because he told her he was going to call. But she was calling him, telling him, you need to call her because she's waiting on your call. I was doing neither. Okay. I was not waiting on him to call me. I didn't really want to be bothered. And he kept calling and he kept calling. And the funny thing is, he said, the last time he said he called me, he said he was to himself, this is going to be the last time I call this girl. I'm not going to be bothered. And that time he called was my time to say, I'm sick of him calling me because I just, I'm going to just tell him where I stay so he can come over and I can be done with him. I'll be really rude to him, mean to him and everything. And then he'll just go. And he wouldn't go. He wouldn't.
Oh,
He stayed, he talked. I gave him the hardest time. It was like, why are you asking me that? What do you want? Why does that matter to you? And he just stayed. He was just as patient and everything. And that night when he left, I could not think of anybody but him. And it was sort of like, you for real? Are you for real? That cannot be him. It cannot be that simple. So, I always say God has a sense of humor because wasn't looking, was not in
wow.
my heart, was not looking.
That is really beautiful. That makes me smile. I think patience is one of the most attractive characteristics in a person, but particularly in a husband. Particularly in a
He,
husband. That's it's
he
pretty
had to
top
be
notch.
he had to have a lot of patience with me.
That's beautiful. Fallon, are you ready, my dear?
Sure, yeah. So mine's is similar to the rest of the ladies. I had it in my mind that I was probably more than likely going to marry my kid's father. I just knew that we was going to just live this be like local life when he came home. And no, it was the complete opposite. Everything that I had envisioned to to happen completely like went to shreds. And so that was actually devastating at the time. But the individual that I'm with now, like it was just the complete opposite of of this man that I had wanted at one point in time, because I wanted my kids to be in the same household with their father, and I wanted that for them very bad. But God had other plans, and God continues to order my steps and direct me to toward the right path. And I'm just grateful to God that I'm able to like see things with clear eyes now, and see things the way that I need to see it, instead of just seeing things with my mind of what I envision, and seeing things with my heart and different things like that. So yeah, it's just similar to everybody else, thinking that it was going to be this kind of lifestyle and really putting all eggs in one basket, when in reality, that is not what God wanted me to do. Like they said, God heard conversations that you didn't hear and different things like that. And I just thank God that I was able to redirect that situation.
Oh my gosh. You know what? All of your stories are so beautiful, and mine is ridiculous. I mean, yours is about love and all of this kind of stuff, and mine is just a mess. And I will try to make it brief, but it's very kind of a wild, elaborate story. Um, if you're a woman, you know that there are beauty shops where there are just line upon line of hair products and things of that nature. And around the little corner in the nook, there is a place where you try on hair, you try on wigs. Okay. Every single time I go into one of these stores, I always look at the wigs, because that is what I do. I love to buy my mother her wigs. My mother's a wigologist. She got one for every day of the week. Okay. And I like to buy those things for her, even if it means that I'm not going to get something for myself. Now, at this particular time, I was definitely on a budget. I had, I had, $40 in my purse, and I needed some conditioner. You understand, when you need some conditioner, when you got some kinky curly hair, you need some conditioner. I really did need it. And so I go into the store, and I, of course, go to the wig section first, because I got to be checking for my mom. And I'm just seeing if they got, the kind of little style that she likes. And then as I go through the door, I hear, "You like my wig?" I said, "Hi." And I'm going over to the place, to look at the wig. And then all of a sudden, there's this woman, and I feel her come upon me. And when I say come upon me, I want you to know that she is over 6'3", 6'3". Family, I am almost 5'1". Almost 5'1". Not quite there yet. So she is over 6'3". And the reason why her voice sounds like that is because her body is like that. She is a very expansive woman. Okay. She is an expansive woman. And the meat on her arms, was huge. And when she reached over me, I felt the heat from her body radiate on my face. Okay. So she reached up to get this wig, and she says to the little bitty old lady that's helping us, she said, "This wig ain't on sale. This wig been here a year." But she got it, and she's fussing about it. Then the lady says that she's going to go to the back and get her a fresh wig. And meanwhile, she's, primping and trying it on. Okay. So fine. And ask the lady, the little bitty lady, the lady is smaller than me, and real meek lady. And as she starts to slide away, God said, "Buy her that wig." I said, "Huh?" And then, as quick as he said that, the thought came to my mind, and that said, "But it ain't like it's her birthday or nothing." If this woman didn't say, "'Cause it's my birthday and I gotta have a wig for work and a wig to go out," I said, "Damn." I really did. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I was like, oh, no. If I was gonna spend my money on somebody that wasn't me, it was gonna be my mama. It was no, that's not what I was thinking. Okay. Anyway, so I go ahead and I get the lady the wig. The line is long. The little bitty lady is running in and out, kind of checking. As much as she constantly looking at me. The line is really long, and so the big woman. Oh, let me tell you what she had on, guys. She had on a black tank top in some yellow and black stretch pants, Batman stretch pants, and the fabric had kind of worn out, and the baby had hips from the left to the right. Okay, it was all, and her boobs was big and bountiful. She was a healthy woman. Okay, so anyway, so as I'm finally getting done paying, um I'm getting done paying, and I go over. The woman comes out because now the little bitty lady, she's looking. She's like, "What's taking so long?" And I'm like, "Yo, people taking so long." But anyway, so the woman kind of catches me and this lady talking, and she goes, "You buy my wig? You buy my wig from me?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I got it for your birthday." This woman whips me up, swings me left to right. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Thank you, Jesus. And my face is in her boobs, and all the boob sweat is all over me. Lord, I'm like, please put me down. And she is just praising God to all the praise that it could give. I mean, the store is booming with her voice, because I told you how she talked, causing attention to us like you wouldn't believe. And she is swinging me around as like a rag doll. And I am thinking, God, this is not funny. And you know what he said? Yes, it is. And I said, no, it's not. And he said, yes, it is again. And she was just giving them so much praise. Since then, I have gone back to that store. They used to play hip hop music in that store. They really do. Every time I go, they are playing the Christian station. I honestly believe that was a moment that he used me and allowed me to participate in for other people's benefit. But how did it change me? How did it help me? Because on the drive home, I just kept saying that's not funny. And I can see it's funny now, but it really didn't feel funny. And he said, because when I'm talking to you, I want you to listen.
Okay.
And that's how he did me, y'all. That's how God, I'm just telling you. It's just the true thing. So my story don't have anything to do with a man at all. It is not tame at all. It's wild. Girls, y'all can be off mute. We can kind of join together. I see y'all laughing. I'm saying, where's the sound? You all on
Okay,
mute.
there we go. Okay.
So there we go. We are all good. But that was crazy, wasn't it? I will never
Yes.
forget it. Never, ever, ever
Yeah, I
forget
can
that.
just picture her picking you up with your head in the boobs.
Yes, I mean, just boob sweat.
Oh, that is
Every,
hilarious.
Woo,
I
baby.
love it.
Okay. So
I
so
love it.
listen. Yes, that was funny, and I appreciate it. But I'm so glad that God talks to me, and he really helped me listen. That's all I'm gonna say. He he really did truly help me listen. And so I love to start off with things funny. I love corny jokes. Family out there, you all know that about me. I really do love corny jokes, but we're going to go a little bit deeper now, because as much as I like to laugh, I like to get to the heart of the matter. And I do want to know this. What wounds? Tell me about the wounds that God healed for you.
Okay, I'll go first again.
Okay.
If anybody else want to go first and get theirs, that's fine.
I
Come
didn't
on.
hear her question.
The question is, tell me about a wound that God healed for you. And y'all marinate on that. And I'll go to Miss Reba Bell first. Go ahead, Miss Reba.
Mine would be I had a very bad once you do something to me, uh, cutting people off problem up all the way up until probably last year. And
Okay.
that's just me being transparent. I had to realize that God had to heal certain things, that people are not perfect. And I had to understand from my past, because it started from my childhood, not understanding that people make mistakes, but you got to understand that sometimes people come into your life for a season or reason or a lifetime. And I was cutting off lifetime people and treating them like seasons, and keeping season people and treating them like lifetime, if anybody get that. But it got to a point where I was just like, once you cut me, you cut me. I don't play the ball game, the three strikes you're out ball game. It was more like you got 1 or 2 strikes, and then if you pass me or you do something to me that offended me, I'll just cut you out of my life. And it didn't matter who it was. It didn't matter if it was a friend or a family member. And it got to a point, like I said, up until last year, where I'm like, I'm seeing people, all these people die around me, and close friends and family. And I'm like, Reba, you gotta let stuff go, because at the same time, if somebody was to die, I did just literally have my grandmother died last year, and then right 2 days before Christmas, that was very depressing to me. I got very depressed from that. But then I also had my um my close god brother that just died 2 weeks ago. And it was just like, okay, like I said, up until last year when my grandmother died, really, you got to let certain things go and just forgive people and see for people who they are. And if they're in your life, God will remove them. Then you don't have to remove nobody. God will
Mm-hmm.
remove them. And He has. He has showed me myself, and He has shown me other people. So
Wow.
that was one thing I would say.
Nicole, I really want you to speak on this, not necessarily answering the question. I know that you have a philosophy about that when somebody is doing you wrong, what you're supposed to pick up off of that, because I've heard you speak about that.
One time I guess my thing with that is, you just gotta sometimes just like really release the ego. To me, it's like, when people do you wrong, I don't really necessarily think that they're doing it more so it's more so about them than it is about you, to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I've had a similar thing as well, and I'm going to actually go into, and I hope my mother don't kill me, but for me, what you're talking about as far as a womb and my philosophy, like my mom she had me at the age of 15. So she was
Mm-hmm.
very young. So my grandparents raised me, and my father was also not around. So I was raised by my grandparents. So it was hard for me to kind of forgive. But I had to learn that it wasn't necessarily about me, because after my mom had me, she kind of went into drugs, things of that nature. And she was like, she was in and out, in and out. And she may not even had realized what she was doing, because drugs is something that really takes over your life.
Mm-hmm.
It can really cripple you from being able to be there for the people that need you the most. So thank God that I had my grandparents, but not to say that that was anything. I don't necessarily blame my mom for what happened in her life, because that was her life. She did what she thought was right for her at that time. And
Mm-hmm.
me, I had to kind of release that and to understand that it wasn't necessarily about me. It was about her and what she was going through, her demons that she was fighting, the things that she was going through with family and friends and the people that she was hanging with. It wasn't necessarily, of course, she loves me. I never get that, I always know that part, but it was just that I had to release that knowledge of, or that feeling of, you know, trying to be mad at her, and totally understand that it wasn't necessarily about her. It wasn't necessarily about me. It was about her. I don't know. I'm having something's going on with my computer. It was like something came in, but yeah. So for me, I always try to look at it in a different light. I try to look at what I can actually learn from something like that, to take it in. I try to look at it as a lesson, And like with my kids, I noticed that I'm more clingy towards them. I want to be around them. I want to love on them and ask them questions. And I think it was because I missed some of that. So I didn't get that when I was younger from my mom. So I think in a way it's a good thing, but in a way it's, they probably don't think it's bad, but I am a clingy mom. I'm like, I want to know what's going on. Hey, how you doing? How can we become even closer and, get that relationship that I didn't have with my mom. So for me, it's about learning lessons from past traumas, things of that nature, and figuring out how you can actually find that joy, as I always say, in that journey instead of actually putting that resentment and, crystallizing it inside of your body, because that kind of stuff can crystallize inside of your body and cause other things to go wrong physically. You don't want that kind of stuff. So I've always learned to kind of look at it, the picture as like an overview of it, instead of like, I just look at it as an overview and then try to find the joy in that particular, if that's what you were talking about when we talked.
Yes, you know what? Really, yes. And you're going to really, you were kind enough to send me a video that goes into your thought process a little bit more. So we'll take a look at that. Now, I want you to play very, very close attention, family, to this video. And I want you to read the screen as it goes along. It's just going to be about a minute, okay? So here we go. Pay close attention, and I want you to give me your feedback. Are you seeing what the words say? This is proof that all races are beautiful. Asian, Hispanic, African American, normal. Normal is the label that he gives her. The European appearing woman. What are your thoughts?
That's kind of crazy to me, because that's normal is everybody to me. We're collective of people, and everyone should be treated as a collective of people of love and of care and of beauty. It's just not one race that's normal. Actually, to be honest, nobody's really normal, because we don't know, but no, nobody is really normal. All of us have flaws. All of us have different things that are going on in our lives. So that's technically not necessarily something that is true to me. We all have, our minor things that we are going through, and that, things can go into our negative thoughts can go into our mind. So I don't think anybody's really technically normal. And what is normal, to be very honest?
You know what? Right,
And that
right.
depends on how you perceive what normal is, like you were saying. Certain people may be normal because you perceive them a certain way, while others aren't. It's almost like when I'm a nurse by trade. So it's almost like when I educate people on how to describe a wound in their documentation. They'll say that it has uh, a small amount of drainage. Well, my thing is, what's small? Your definition of small can be different from my definition. You could look at small as maybe a dime size, when I may be thinking of small as a nickel size. So I need you to be more definitive as to what you're saying small is. Is small the size of a quarter or whatever? So it's the same with normal. Everybody perceives normal to be something that they think it is. They put it in a box, but that's not necessarily what it is. It's just your perception of what you feel normal is.
Yeah.
Okay. So my big thing on this, it was like, wow, that is that's that's the bottom line issue that we're dealing with. That European beauty is normal versus other beauty. It's pretty, but it is not normal. But it really doesn't just go to that, because you might feel that way if you are a little bit, um, you know, heftier,
I think
or if you're not tall, if you're not a certain height, or curly hair versus straight hair. What I felt as a woman overall, um, I constantly feel people trying to put me in a box. And I am never, ever, ever what people expect me to be. I, you
But I
know,
mean, that goes to be with, like the young women and teens. Those type of things affect their self-esteem and their confidence because, you have a lot of kids now because of the way we eat, the McDonald's, the fast food, everybody wants everything quick because everybody's going so fast. And they're full-figured kids. They're not,
mm-hmm,
the little skinny people or whatever, and people make them feel bad about their size. Well, first of all, most kids can't purchase their own food. Their
Right.
parents
mm-hmm,
are purchasing it, but they're having to brunt all of the bullying and the discussion about how they look, how big they are. And then you have those that it affects their mental status so badly till now, you have uh, the anorexia, the bulimia, where, you're gorging on food and then you're going to the bathroom and you're purging yourself of it because you want to
mm,
eat. But now you purge because it's like I can't gain that weight. So yeah, I
mm-hmm.
ate. Everybody saw me eat, but now I got to go get rid of it. Are those people who are starving themselves, trying to be a size that they weren't meant to be? So that's
I
the reason why, we have to really build up their self-esteem and their confidence because it leads to other things.
Yeah.
so I think that I think the image that we saw with the young lady, the Caucasian woman, like being labeled as normal, I think that we slowly but surely straying away from that. I think
Mhm.
back when I was in school, I think that look, that European look with the straight hair, with the thin figure, that was like, ooh, like somewhat that was the aim. But I think now, like the normal, what people were trying to get at is the whole perfect body, the small waist, the big
Yeah.
hips, all those different things. Those are starting to like shape the minds of the young ladies that are looking. And so like that image of the young lady definitely was the normal probably about 15, 20 years ago. Like everybody aim was to be small and thin. Now everybody aim, even Europeans aim are trying to be like thick and curvy and different things like that. So I think like times will continue to change. Like, don't get me wrong. I feel like, when we see different normal images of people, or the kids, or their minds are getting misconstrued, or what they should look like, what's the perfect body, and different things like that. And it definitely affects our children. Like, it definitely affects their self-esteem, and it affects older women's self-esteem, like our self-esteem. Like we looking at, because we're thinking like the men that we are actually trying to date, they're looking at this woman with the long luscious hair and the pretty edges, and the
Yes.
big behind and the small waist, and we like, man, I got to get some work done, I got to get my waist snatched, you know what I'm saying? And
Yes.
in reality, like, those men, that, yeah, that looks good to them, but what I found out was that I worked out hard, and I remember I was training hard. I wanted to have my waist snatched. I wanted to be this, that, and some.
Mm-hmm.
The guy who I was dating, he was more so looking at the girl with the 2 liter body, and it was like, here I trying to look like this eight, like I'm trying to look. Yes, you too busy looking at this girl with the busted can of the biscuits with her stomach.
Oh my goodness!
You
Did
know,
she say busted can of biscuits?
Gosh.
that's to be real. Like, so
Yeah,
I
because
just,
every man's taste is different.
it is, and I just feel like we think, us women, we're just so hard on ourselves. My God, tell me that all the time. So hard on yourself. Like, we just have this image of what is perfect and what is normal, but it's just like, what is normal? What is the perfect? Like,
Normal is what you make it to be for
yes,
Mm-hmm.
you. It's
yes,
what
and
you
There it
think is
is.
for
yeah,
you.
There it
Uh,
is.
And that's the reason why, you have to be sure of yourself and what it is that you want.
I was just going to say that. I was going to say confidence. That goes a long way. If you're confident, I don't care if you look like if you 350 or the lady that coached out in the beauty. She probably was confident, thought she was
She
awesome.
was quite confident.
Yes. You know what? I mean, it's the mindset
It
that
is.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Can I tell a story?
Yes.
Weekend. Well, this weekend I went over to my sister-in-law's house, and she has this book of it's called Book of Questions. And one of
Uh-huh.
the questions was, how do you rate yourself as far as your physical appearance, 1 through 10? So everybody went around the room, and I said for myself, I said an 8, because I'm like, I don't necessarily. I mean, I feel like you said, confidence is a big thing, and that is actually one of to me, my life lessons is to kind of figure out how to be more confident within myself, within my message, within my body, things of that nature. And they were like, why do you do that? Why are you saying that? I'm like, I'm just telling my truth. I'm just being transparent. And like I had my brother-in-law, he was talking about he was a 12, and my husband like, yeah, I'm a 12 too, And it's just like you say, it's a mindset. You have to really dig deep within yourself and to really find that confidence within you. And that is absolutely something that I'm struggling with. So I actually thank you for showing that, because it is definitely. And my daughter is she is we call her a slim thick, because she's like a slim, but she's a girl. Like, she was in gymnastics really heavily, so she still has the broad shoulders and all that kind of stuff. But now she got booty and all kinds of stuff, and she doesn't. I noticed that she wears a lot of like sweaters and stuff to cover her body. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that. Like, you are beautiful just as you are. I was like, and if you feel like you're not, you have to change your whole mindset. Or if it's something that you feel like you want to change yourself. Like, it's, I think I'm like, you just got to really have that mindset and have that love for yourself. Even if you have to dig within to try to find it, I just feel, I don't feel bad for her, but because I know it's something that she has to overcome. But I'm like, I wish I did have your booty. Like, give it to me. I can show you how to work it. But it's just like, you should be so confident within yourself, because I look at her and I'm like, and these kids nowadays are a little different. They're more vocal, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that though, because, and a lot of people my age don't like that, but I think it's a great thing, because I wasn't able to be vocal. I was always the quiet, the quiet one, sit in the background. And I look at my youngest daughter, because she's 14. So I look at her and I'm like, damn, I wish I had that, that feel of being able to really voice my opinion if I don't like something. And my husband's like, well, I don't know if I like it, but I understand where he's coming from, because it is something that we were raised as children. But to be able to see her able to have her voice, and I just wish she could just have that confidence within herself, because when I look at her, I see beauty, and I don't know what she sees within herself, but I'm hoping that, and I'm like, if you can just see yourself through my eyes, like, you don't know how great you are, how beautiful you are. I always tell her this. I'm like, dude, I wish I had your body. I will show you how to
My baby girl was like that. Now, my oldest daughter, because of what I went through, that was the one thing I wanted for them. I wanted them to have that self-esteem. I wanted them to have that confidence and everything. So, my husband and I, we were all, you're beautiful. We love you. You're nice, and I would buy her nice stuff and everything and all, and tell, oh, you look so good in this. And, oh, look at you. That butt's coming out. You're the bump. For my oldest daughter, it wasn't nothing. I mean, her head was like, I'm the bomb.com. I got it going on, and I'm going to show it. Now,
wow.
Baby girl took a minute. She was always, look at this, look at this. And it was like, stop. You are exactly the way God wanted you to be.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And you need to accept yourself for what he's done for you. Now, both of them. when I had my book launch, it was funny. I was looking at them like, okay, is this for me or is it because they all,
Oh, wow.
I mean, so
I love it.
they have not, I tell them now, I says, well, I've done my job.
Yeah.
Y'all, they don't have any issues now. Now, baby girl still every now and then she'll be, girl, don't start what I told you. So, you just have to keep on. And the more you encourage them, the more you support her, she'll get there. She'll get
Yeah,
there.
That's excellent. Now, I want to say this. You know, this show is called Queens with Vision. I want you to know that I'm having a Kings with Vision show coming up, and I want you
Okay.
to know that I love our fellas. Okay, but I am going to play a video where this young lady addresses the idea of being a king, and she's a little bit disappointed, and so I just wanted to say this up front. I do not want my men in the audience to believe that I don't love them, because I certainly do. I love and appreciate you gentlemen very much, so just know that up front. Do not beat me
Shit.
up, fellas. Okay, so
So the other
here
day,
we
a
go.
man told me women should treat their men like kings. What on earth makes you think you're a king? I asked him. He did not like this. Men are meant to lead, he tells me. All right then, lead. Do something. See, you've never been treated like a king, because you've never acted like one. Kings make decisions. Kings have the weight of the world on their shoulders. They take initiative for the lives of millions of people. And you barely take initiative to pull yourself away from Call of Duty. So what you're saying is, you just want to sit there and be worshipped. Like God. But even God created the entire universe. That's why people worship gods. It was a lot of work. You, on the other hand, can't even make a morning coffee. Why would anyone call you a king when I could just as well replace you with a toddler and have the same experience? The toddler would be full of less shit.
Ooh, so very spicy was she?
Oh, wow.
Ooh, okay.
She was very spicy. Okay. So I want to talk about not just men in leadership, women in leadership, and really what is expected of a leader. And in that video, she says men, but really women, men. If you're going to call yourself a leader, you're going to call yourself a queen or king or what have you. My thought process is, what makes you a queen? How dare I call this show Queens with Vision? So, what makes you a queen?
I think it's just your own uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
because you know that's my biggest thing is being like my shirt says, I'm aware that I'm rare. Like you have to,
Ah,
you know, show your own abilities, like to other people. Mine is basically uniqueness. Uniqueness is a good quality to me.
maybe being aware of your uniqueness, because everybody's
Yeah,
unique, but everybody's not aware
yeah,
that they
absolutely,
are a
absolutely,
one of one. You know,
right.
I'll take
I
that.
would say I would say knowing your self worth,
Oh,
Okay.
definitely.
being
Yes,
valued, being a queen, being able to straighten your crown. It is cricket sometimes. Being able to continue to stand up tall when you don't feel like you know. Like I feel like different strengths show that you're a queen, and being able to one thing about us mothers, I was telling somebody, like, I can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to be this way and that way because I got babies to look after. And I feel like being a queen, like like you gotta pull it out of you when you can't even sometimes you can't even think straight or you can't even see anything clear. Like you gotta be able to shapen up when you have to immediately. Like it can't even be the thought to it. So I think those shows that you're
Well,
Mm,
also, I think it's being confident in who you are and what you are, how you carry yourself, but being confident in the things that you know, but also be confident in the things that you don't know,
yeah,
and that you have the ability to pull from those resources that you have. You know, if you need help, ask for it. Uh, Even a queen needs help sometimes, just like a king would.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
being confident in knowing who you are and what you are. And like I say, also be confident in those things that you don't know, and you're not afraid to ask for help, because sometimes it's the people that you pull in to support you and help you that will help elevate you even higher than where you are.
Definitely.
That is excellent. Johnny B, I love you too. I appreciate you. Um, for me, I am going to say it is the ability to be a self leader, to forgive, to receive feedback, and most of all, finding the thing that God put you here for and then acting on it.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say
Yes,
mine is finding your purpose. What a
right.
queen
But
is. Have
and what
knowing, well,
really
not finding your purpose, but knowing your purpose.
and it's not always going to be the same thing all the
Exactly.
time. You
Exactly.
know, um, I have a very unique personality type, and I was so thankful. I took a DISC test and I took a Myers Briggs test, but the DISC test for me was, well, really the explanation of it was so amazing because I am both dominant and submissive. This is a rare quality because it's found, according to the expert that examined me, in only 6% of the population. And she said to me, "You must live with a lot of conflict in your heart." She said, "That must be really, really hard."
Hmm.
It's not, it is not hard for me because it is, I lead in the absence of leadership or when it's time for me to lead. I'm a natural leader, okay? But I do it um, very gently, very softly. I do not mind yielding to an authority. I receive authority very well, and I receive feedback um, very, very, very well. And so I don't mind hard stuff at all. I enjoy hard. Um, at the same time, I enjoy kind of just sitting back and going with the flow. So I am unique that way. So what has that done for me? That has given me the ability to be searching for God's purpose for me in the moment and realizing it is not going to be the same thing all the time. Hmm.
What about the ones that really can't find their purpose? Like they don't know how to find their purpose. They don't know the first thing about it. Like, cause I talked to a couple people and they're like, you know, I haven't found my purpose. I don't know what I'm supposed to be here to do and things of that nature. What do you tell people like that?
Well,
I got an
well,
answer for that. I
wait,
have
wait.
five
Okay,
lessons
Reba
coach for
Bell,
a slow
I'm gonna
person.
let you
I got an
go because I think we both like, oh, oh, oh. What are we? We're like, who is that? Arnold Harshack from back in the day. Welcome back, Carter. Yes. Okay, so Reba Bell, go ahead. Go ahead.
Mine would be how I end up finding my purpose is what I was taught in the church. Is find your weakness, whatever
Yeah.
you weak at. And it's
That's a good one.
whatever your weakness is, go find someone else. It's just like, say you have, use a simple example. You have $5 to your name and you like, I really don't have no money. I really need more money. Well, you go find somebody else that needs that $5. And it
Mhm.
just you start flourishing and finding certain things about yourself, whatever you're weak at, and then someone else help build you up, or vice versa. I
Mm.
found I found that a lot of people in my past, and how I actually found my calling, my purpose. And I mentioned this, people always called me for advice. I don't know why. It was just like, well, call Reba. And they be like, okay, who I got to call? When I'm going through something, it's always somebody going through something, friends or family member. Let me call Reba and ask her or whatever. When I start learning that that was a gift later on, I was like, okay, so who I'm gonna call them in my weak times? But then it started being God to have people call me in my weak times and they wouldn't even know. And I call myself, start finding myself ministering to someone, helping someone out, and they don't even know I'm going through the same situation, but I can have the sympathy and the empathy. So that would I would say find what you're weak at, and
Okay.
then what you're weak at, either perfect it, go find someone else, and build on it.
Hmm.
And you just never know what God will flourish from that. So that's what I would say.
That's great.
You know what? Yes, I would definitely say your mess is your message.
Mm.
That is for sure. So whatever has broken your heart has likely broken someone else's heart too.
Yes.
And if you have found a way to get over it, then that's your message to help that other person, you know? And I would definitely be asking yourself, how can I help? If someone said, I don't know what my purpose is, ask yourself, how can you help? And however it is that you can help, that is your purpose in that moment, then go to the next moment over and over again, and you will find that there is a pattern to the things that you are gifted to do. All of you ladies are amazing at what you are doing. You're amazing authors. You have great families. Some your wordsmiths. So those things are very important, but although you are doing similar things, you are certainly not the same. Your books are very, very different. So you are helping different people. And then it wasn't, I would imagine it is, I'm just going to take Saundra, it is not easy to tell the story that you were abused in dating. That is not easy to share,
No, it's
you
not.
know. But look how many people you have given voice to just by sharing your pain.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to even talk about the FK. Who wants to say they don't want to care about the people in their life, or be the example of, I mean, but you revealing that is air to so many people, and it helps them get past that. So anytime that you can do that, then we are going down the right path, you know.
I, I always say that we are all singing the same song, but in different tunes. So
Right.
that's how I always look at it. We're always singing the same song, but and that we are all vessels to people that are actually going through the same things. And like you said, that was a great thing. That like you said your message, your message,
Your
and
message and your message.
like I think that's an awesome thing. So now I have something to go back and tell my friend that now I'm like, yeah, now think about, all the stuff that you went through. You just never know sometimes. So yeah.
So I want to turn a little bit because I want us to kind of talk about our leadership. I want us to talk about our leadership through a biblical perspective. I want to know, who is it for you in the Bible that represents your leadership characteristics? And if you don't have one of that nature, I want to know, what character do you find yourself in when it comes to a biblical character? So where's your heart?
Mine would be Moses.
All right, Miss Moses, get to it.
I wrote a paper about this in college, so it's just so funny because they had the same question. You had to write a whole 10-page paper about it in college. And I related to Moses. I felt like I was the one that kept giving God the excuses. And I stutter, and I do this, and I do that. And I felt like that I was the one that was taken away from what God had me to do and kept on making excuses for it. So he had to push me. I may
Mhm.
not be as in age older as him when God kind of like started doing the work, but I did feel like that. I did feel like that I was a late bloomer in God's eyes. I did feel like that I should have been doing what God called me to do a long time ago, but I had to keep on getting hit on the head so many times that God revealed himself to me in the paths that I took, in my past that he like, okay, either I'm gonna keep on knocking you on the head or you gonna wake up. Come on. So
Mm.
I felt like at that time, and I still feel, still, at that time, I felt like I was Moses. Like you gonna do what I tell you to do. I don't care how long it takes.
Okay, it's gonna happen. It's happening.
It's gonna
Okay, like
happen.
it or not, it is happening. It
Yeah.
is happening. Okay. Who's jumping up to go next?
I'll go
I guess
next.
I'll go next. I'll go next.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess I sort of can relate to Mary Magdalene, the prostitute. I'm not a
Okay.
prostitute, but when Jesus healed her and everything, and he he redeemed her. He healed her. He redeemed her. She started following him. People still looked at her. They perceived her the way she always had been, and they couldn't
Mhm.
understand why Jesus allowed her to follow him because she started, encouraging the disciples.
Mhm.
She was just worshiping him and being thankful for what he had delivered her from. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of times people have perceived me to be somebody that I'm not because they haven't gotten the opportunity to get to know who I am and where
Okay.
I've come from. We all have a story. And sometimes people look at you from afar and they
Mhm.
start to judge who you are.
Mhm.
And my thing is, don't judge me because you don't know my story. So I sort of relate to her a little bit.
Excellent. I love it. I love it. Um, I will go next. Elijah. And that is based off of my, yes, I love Elijah. For me, that is based off of my most recent situation. To be very honest, there are so many people that I relate to. The last time we did one of these, I pointed out the woman at the well. Y'all go back and uh, listen to that. But I celebrate. I celebrate her. I even thought about getting me a shirt that says, "I am the woman at the well." Okay, because everybody's walking around here, repping the Psalms 31 woman, and she was fabulous, but she was fictional. She's an idea. She didn't leave a
The
root.
Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so yes, thank you. The Proverbs 31 woman, but she wasn't real. She's fictional. She's an idea. Whereas the woman at the well was a woman that God was able to use. He looked at her and he said, "This is my baby. This is a woman that can carry my message forward. You might have done this and you might have done that, and you might have been with this man or that man, but daughter, I have something for you. I have a living water for you. And if you drink this, you will never be thirsty again." So when you are a woman at the well, don't call that your identity. You are still a child of the king. Okay. And Jesus came for you regardless of what you have done. So, anyway, listen, y'all could, there's more, but I'm going to put that aside. This particular season, um, particularly what I've been going through with my mother, it made me feel um, like Elijah. And do y'all remember when he was being chased by Jezebel?
Hmm.
And he was just like, oh, oh God, I don't want to be here. Just take me, God.
Sorry, I'm just tired. I'm tired.
Just
I'm tired.
tired
Yeah.
and wore out. And
Yeah.
you guys, I mean, you guys, some of you guys are in the our care group, so you know what I have been going through. It's just like one thing after another, but Lord have mercy, it is the way people talk about the person that you love the most in life. The degradation that has been pronounced over my mother. I really had to fight for them to fight to save her life.
Yeah.
They were like wanting to give up on her as she was going to just be some kind of vegetable, and I was like, the devil is a lie. So every day I would be, fighting for her all day. And then when I would get home, I would be feeling wrung out, just heartbroken, like literally my heart hurt. My body was in physical pain from emotional pain. And it was just It was so difficult. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever gone through in life. I wrote a little article about it, just how I had reached the end of myself. You guys, you can check out my show that I did on suicide. Matter of fact, biblical suicide. I suggest you go check that out if you are needing to understand. It is not the phone, it's not an iPhone, it's not the TV, it is not just things that you are going through. This is something that the feeling of suicide and being downtrodden has been going on since biblical times. And it really is how the enemy takes your mind and just stresses you out, tries to isolate you and makes you feel like that is the answer. But know that if you get to the end of yourself, find a relationship with the Creator. And I promise you, He will pick you up and lift you up and bring you back to a place where you feel as if you are worth it, feel as if you are loved, and feel as if you are capable of going on. And so that's what's on my heart and what I want to share. Does anybody else want to pick up on that particular question? Because if not, I got another one for you. I got another one for you.
I mean, me personally, I just feel like we are a piece of all of those women. To be
Okay.
right. I don't care how negative their impact was. I don't care how great their impact was. We hold both. We hold dark and we hold light.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of wanted to say about that. So that was my thing. We carry it all. We carry it all.
You know what? I definitely agree with you. We are going to take a quick break, family. Y'all know that we've been here. We've been rocking and rolling. Uh-oh.
I just want
You know what? Okay, I got a lot going on, but we have been rocking and rolling. We are going to take a quick break and do watch this video because it is of our girl Nicole, and she has some wisdom for us. So listen, stay tuned in. We will be right back. I promise you, it will continue to be good. Here we go, family.
to pop in real quick because something was heavily on me. I don't know, today for some reason, I know today I'm supposed to talk about relationships, so this is still kind of in tangent to go with it, but I've realized that everybody that you meet, no matter who they are, no matter for how long, I realize that, and sometimes we get upset with people in different ways, like in a marriage or in a relationship. You break up and you're feeling a certain type of way or going through something like that, and I don't know, I just want people to realize that you don't have to be that way. If you take the approach that we are here to learn something from everyone we come in contact with, then I think we will be in a better place as far as your happiness. If you just understand that out of whatever happened between you and that person, if you understand, or between whoever, it could be, a best friend, or it could be your boyfriend, your husband, whoever, your daughter, your cousin. If we just understand, take that moment to just understand that we are here to learn something from that relationship. We are here to learn something from that person, whether it's good, or it's a lesson. It may not always be that person. It may be something inside of us that we need to fix, that we need to heal from. Because not everything is about that person. That person pissing you off or making you mad, it's not always about that person. Sometimes it's about
you and how you are taking it. And, like today I got smacked in my face, not really smacked in my face literally, but me listening to one of my good friends tell me something about how I was feeling about a certain thing. And she kind of made me see like, oh shit, maybe I need to take my own advice. So I just kind of wanted to say that just know that every person you come in contact with, whether it's good or bad, you are here to learn something from that person. If it's good, that's great. If it's something that is negative or hurtful, you need to look at that situation with a little more in depth, go a little deeper to see what it is about that situation that you're supposed to learn from. And if you take that approach of learning from the adversities through that particular relationship or that friendship, and see it for what it is. Maybe it just wasn't supposed to be. Or maybe, you've grown out of custom with that person. I don't know. It was just something that was really on my heart that I kind of wanted to share. So
Excellent. That is a beautiful point that you were able to make, and I appreciate you for that. And that's really one of the things that I was getting to earlier. Fallon had to leave us, family, but her book is called The Missing Puzzle Piece, and it is the one that helps children who have incarcerated parents. So that is fabulous. My good friend, my girl, Michelle, she just said hi to us. I love her. She is a fabulous and beautiful, smart woman. So, hi, Miss Michelle, girl. Any, anyway, tell us more about your wisdom, and is any of that wisdom in your book?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. It is.
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like we're all here, first and foremost to love.
Uh-huh.
Because God is love. We are love. We are made from love, to be very honest. Your parents had you out of love as much as,
Mhm.
some of it, and some may not be so much love. But basically, I do feel like we are here to learn from every person that we encounter, whether
Mhm.
it's, like I said, love or happiness, or if it's a lesson. And
Mhm.
when you are able to really dive a little deeper into the hurt and the pain, um, it's a great thing to kind of learn how to heal. Like, somebody like I love to hear constructive criticism about myself. I've always been that type of person. I do not mind when people tell me that I'm wrong, but some people do not like that. And,
Mhm.
I wonder why they don't like that. To me, it's like you want to know about yourself so that you can learn and grow from the experiences that you're having in life. And
Mhm.
that was the whole point of my book. It was me actually going inward, um,
Mhm.
learning what I needed to change about myself in order for me to actually love this. First of all, to understand that my husband don't want to go through this. Nobody wants to go through
Mhm.
it at all. Nobody was like, oh yeah, you know what? Today I'm just going to go ahead and get cancer and just mess up my whole family. No, nobody ever does that. So sometimes you got to take out the fact that this is happening to this particular person and
Mhm.
really like look at it as how can we come together and like just hit this, um and just like dissolve what is happening at that point in time. Like, how can we just really take this adversity and just figure it out, tap into it, dissect it really, really well, and
Mhm.
see where we can find those little bits of joy and the silver lining in it. And that's absolutely in my book, where I've learned a lot of things, because one of the things that I notice when I'm a meditator, so when I meditate, things come to me all the time. And one of the things that came to me in the meditation was that I had resentment towards my husband for what was happening in our
Mhm.
family at this time. And I'm like, how can I have resentment towards my husband when he's the one going through what he's going through? But, the late nights, him throwing up, me having to get up, people don't realize that stuff is happening to you, and some of it's making you angry, and you're not really realizing that it's making you angry. But then after a while, you start to feel the anger. You're mad. You're mad at God. To be very honest, me being transparent, I was upset with God because I'm like, why is this happening to our family at this point in time in our lives? But then the more I got into my meditation, it was like, you have resentment towards your husband, not necessarily because of him, but it's because of the illness. And I had to really figure out how to really go within to try to figure out how to remove that resentment. And, I always think like, first of all, I think about him, and, that's not necessarily something, like I said, that he wants to do. So it's more about finding that love, finding that balance, finding that peace within yourself, because if you don't have it within yourself, you can't give that to anybody else. And then trying to find out how you can actually incorporate that self-love, because that is your ultimate thing. You have to have self-love when you're going through adversities, and when you're going through the caregiving journey anyway. For me, it was about finding things that I liked, because if I didn't, it would get worse. So I found things that I like. I found that I needed peace. In the morning time, I would go meditate and, do different things for myself, whether it's a walk or, I used to play softball a lot. So I would get the ball and I would just go hit it. And that to me was letting out a little bit of that negative energy that I was having, that was crystallizing within me. Because to be very honest, people don't realize when you have that hatred, that anger, all that kind of stuff, it crystallizes inside of you. And I know I said that before, but I really want to make that known. Like, if you don't get a hold of it, it can physically do damage to you. I had to get a heart monitor because I was just really allowing that stuff to sit inside of me and not really let it out, let all that negative energy that was surrounding my spirit out. And if you don't do that, it'll just get worse and worse and worse. And then you don't know how to let it out. So those were, definitely a different way of thinking for me. So yeah, that was my biggest thing.
Nicole, you were brokenhearted.
I'm sorry.
You were brokenhearted.
I was brokenhearted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and God kind of revealed to me, he was like, this was absolutely a learning lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a purpose. I always say nothing is by accident. Everything is on purpose. And it helped me grow. Like I tell people tell me all the time, oh, your husband's actually very grateful to have you, that you're doing so much for him. I'm like, y'all see the surface. Y'all see what I do for him, but y'all really don't see how he feels my heart, and how, I actually am able to love on him and, still give him those moments of love. He just really, this to me was a gift. The caregiving part was a gift to me. And I know it sounds funny, but it was a gift because I was absolutely able to find the joy. Like if this didn't happen to him, I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now. I wouldn't be doing any of this. And there's a purpose. There was a purpose. And he gifted me with more empathy, more love, more patience. And people always see the surface side of me and my husband's relationship, but they don't really know how he allows me to be who I am. He allows me to actually, enjoy that time to myself. He's not an arguer. He's a funny guy. He loves to laugh. He loves to make other people laugh. And, I keep telling him, like, yeah, people see what I do for you, but they really don't. Like I told my husband, I'm like, you have probably been married to at least 12 different women, because he has absolutely helped my evolution. Absolutely, he has. He's absolutely helped my evolution. I have probably, I was, when we first met, I was very timid. I was very quiet. So he's actually helped me grow into who I am today because he's
Wait, can
always,
we just put a pause right there? Note to all men, a king, a
yes,
king helps with a woman's evolution. Okay, y'all, men, I know y'all watching out there. There's a bunch of you guys out there. So I'm just go ahead and write that down.
yes, yes. No, I don't want to take up too much time, but he really was, of course, with spirit as well. But he was absolutely a vessel for me. And during this time, like people are like, "Oh, you're helping him," but no, he's gifting me with all of these different things that you don't really dive a little deeper to look into. People don't really realize what their loved one that's going through the illness, what they're actually giving them, because they're
Yeah.
giving them so many fruits and so many nuggets, and it's just so much that you can take from the caregiving aspect. That
Mm-hmm.
people they're so mad at the fact that they're having to watch over their mom, or having to watch over their dad, or having to watch over their husband. And I get it. I totally understand that it's not an easy task, and it does
Mm-hmm.
take a lot of time and a lot of your energy and a lot of your space and a lot of you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I also see the other side where they're actually, gifting you with the love and the I'm sorry, the love and the wisdom and the knowledge, and they just gift you with so much that you just don't realize behind the scenes what you're getting. So that was big for me.
I received that because if you're caregiving, you're actually having to be humble. You're having to self-sacrifice a lot. Jules, or is in that God grows beautiful things of
Yeah,
out of your character in that process.
yes,
And so you really are able to blossom into your purpose, into
absolutely.
yes, into what God has for you. And I'm not saying you can't do that in other ways, but caregiving on a continual basis is one way that selfishness will, if you have some selfishness in you, start caring for somebody who really needs you. It will
Yeah.
get it out of you. Okay.
I do
Because,
want to say one thing that I
yeah.
did notice is that nobody realized that the person with the illness or going through whatever they're going through, they're actually sacrificing some of themselves so that you can evolve, like I said, so that you can evolve into who you're here to be, or what you're here to learn from the whole thing. So that was another thing that was told to me when I was meditating, was that,
Hmm.
you know, your husband has sacrificed some of his health to evolve your whole family. So
Mm,
if people don't realize that, of course, you don't want to be in that particular, you don't want to go through that journey, but it's called it's like it's the ultimate sacrifice, love. They're giving you that love and helping you through your life and helping you through this journey, so that you can, be a better person, which is what we're here to do. We're here to be better people, and to just be great.
oh man, this is all I have to say. Y'all better tune in when Nicole comes back. Nicole, do you know your date that you're coming back?
Yes. What is it? June? I mean, I'm sorry, August 5th. One is August
August.
5th, and one is
Uh-huh. And
August 8th.
yes, she's coming back two times. One to talk about the business of her book, as well as talk, she's a ghostwriter too, you guys.
Yeah.
Um, awesome. So, so she's going to talk about the business of book writing and all of that stuff. But then she's also going to talk about her spiritual journey. I got to get Saundra in here. Saundra, come on, girl. Well, I just want to just dive directly into your book. Please crack your book open and give us something out of your book. Please read us a passage. You're on mute now.
Ooh.
Come on off of mute.
Okay. Um, let's see. Let's find something here. One other thing is a quote that I have is self-love,
Mm-hmm.
self-respect, self-worth. There is a
Mm-hmm.
reason they all start with self. You cannot find them in anyone else but yourself. And it's just about building our self-esteem. We have to look internally for that. We have to love ourselves, and that was hard for me
Mm-hmm.
um, when I was going through my dating abuse. It was hard for me because when I did get out of that relationship, I was embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want anyone to know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I felt like I entered it because my self esteem was low and that I was looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I thought that I had found it in this person who claimed to care for me and love me, but in the end realized that I didn't love myself. So how could I expect someone else to love me? I didn't even know what kind of love I wanted. I had to look inside myself to learn who I was in order to be able to love myself. And I think that's hard for people sometimes. Um, we start dating at such a young age in our society today, and most of us don't know who we are, what we want. We haven't even determined who we are or what we want. And
Mm-hmm.
in order for us to receive the kind of love that we want from another person, we have to really, as I say, get naked with ourselves and determine what it is we want. How do we want someone to love us? What is it that we want them to give us? What is it that we need? And we need to first be able to love ourselves. So I always tell people you need to date yourself. Um, Love on you. Determine what it is you like, what you don't like, um, things you want to do. Because there are a lot of things when you're in an abusive or toxic relationship, whether it be with an intimate partner, a family member, or a friend, it often leaves you doing the things that they want you to do. They manipulate you into uh, doing things how they want to do it, and um, it leaves you with the inability to do it the way you may want to do it because you don't know how you want to do it. So for me, that was hard, especially when I entered the relationship with my husband. I was still trying to heal from the dating abuse, and I had a lot of baggage. I was still trying to find out who and what I was. And luckily for me, it was a blessing from God that He sent me my husband because he helped me in so many ways because he was patient. Uh, he helped build my self esteem, by telling me that I could do certain things, that, I was beautiful, that I was smart, I was intelligent. And even though other people had told me that, I never really believed it in myself. But he was determined that I was going to know how beautiful I was, how smart I was, and all the things that I could do. And he was just very patient with me. He loved on me. And much like Nicole's story, he helped me grow. He helped me excel in a way that I never thought was possible. I remember the first time that um, early on in my nursing career, um, I was a go getter. I felt like that was going to help me grow in the corporate world. I would get to work before anybody. I bring work home. I mean, somebody say I don't want to do it. I'll do it. I'll do it. Um, and so that was my way. I was trying to, build my self esteem, make myself realize, okay, you do have confidence. You can do this. But the regional administrator came and she was opening up a new office in closer to where I lived, where I wouldn't have to drive that far. And she asked me, had I heard about it? And I said, yeah, I heard about it. And she says, you need to apply. I was like, okay. So when I got home and we were eating dinner and I was telling my husband about it, he says, well, are you going to apply? I said, oh, she didn't really want me to apply. I said, she was just being
Mm-hmm.
nice. He said, but she asked you whether you're interested in it. I said, okay. And he said, Saundra, she wants you to apply. I said, I can't do that. I said, there is no way I can open up a branch office from the ground up. He says, yes, you can. And then he started telling me all of this stuff that I was doing at the office that I was at. He says, is that what you're going to be doing if you got the job in the new office? And I was like, well, sort of, kind of, but probably a whole lot of other stuff. He says, you can do this. I was like, you really think I can? And he was like, yeah. I applied for it. I got it. And it was like, wow. He said, see there? So he's always motivated me. He's always been there for me. He's been my cheerleader. And he's all, he just let me know. And the more I had that, um, the better I started to believe in myself. And then the other thing is I had to realize that I had to start changing my language. I had to retrain my mind, change my
Mhm.
mindset. I had to, instead of saying there was something, oh, I can't do that, I'm not good at that. I had to flip it around to say, okay, I'm not as good as I'm going to be at doing this, but I'm going to get it.
Mm.
Um, I had, it's not, I can't do it. And I mean, and that's how I taught my daughters. And now they flip it back on me. If they hear me, because it's a daily walk. It's a
Yeah.
daily walk when you're talking about training. People think, oh, you're positive, you don't never have a negative moment. They look at you differently. We all have negative moments, but we have to catch it. And that's what changing the mindset is. You catch yourself and then you backtrack. Because, like I told my daughter one day, I was asking her something. It's like, girl, I can't do that. And she was like, hold up, mom. Wait a minute. And I was like, okay, let me back it up. I'm not good at it right now, but I'm going to keep working at it and I'm going to accomplish this. So you have to change your language. And then you have to change the way you talk about yourself. Oh, I I'm too fat. Oh no. I don't even say that anymore. I'm full figured. I'm
Okay.
fine, I'm fly, and I'm full figured.
All right. Give
You
it to
say
me. I
about,
love it. I love it. I love it.
hey, this is me. This is what God gave me. I'm going to work with it. And if I choose to lose weight, it's not because Jane said I needed to lose weight. It's not because Tommy over here says that I'm too big. It's because Saundra wants to do it and she wants to do it for her. We have to learn that what we do is not about somebody else. It's about us. So I don't,
I want to take a quick pause and note that Sandra and Nicole, you all mentioned about your kings
oh
being
yeah.
very affirming in your life, and I want you to know we must have a king in the audience, Mr. Tony Stark, 'cause he's giving us some love. Thank you, Tony. We love an affirming king, lifting us up, helping us reach our best. So, Tony, we appreciate you and we feel you on that so much. Uh, Reba Bell, Reba Bell, my dear, come on, give me something juicy out your book. Give me something juicy out
Oh,
your book.
I
First,
will.
show us the name of your book. Come on now. Okay. A blessing in disguise. Oh, wait a minute. And Sandra, what is the name of your book? What is your, even though it's real big, it's back there.
Is Make It Stop, a young woman's guide to overcome or prevent dating abuse.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, Reba Bell, come on, give us something good out of your book.
Yeah, come on, Reba Bell.
I'm just going to go to the end. Our past circumstances can be turned into a brighter future. And what I said was, our past circumstances can be turned into a brighter future. Instead of turning your negative, you could turn it into a positive. It's all on how you view it. If you are a creation in Christ, you know that you are created for a better purpose. Find the purpose again. Write down those goals every day. If it's a weekly goal, a monthly goal, a yearly goal, 3 to 5 years, write down your goals every day. And that's the encouragement you're going to have, to encourage yourself every day. Then pray over it. Pray over yourself. Pray over the people that surround you. Pray over your spouse. If you have one, pray over your children. And when you're by yourself and at work, nobody is void from this. Nobody is void from encountering domestic violence and trying to be an overcomer. You are an overcomer. You are overcoming because you are at the end of this book and you have a new motivation to be where you need to be in Christ. Take your power back.
I love it. I love it. As we wrap up here, I want to ask this question. Who did you have to forgive in order? Oh, you like that, Saundra. To ex- yeah, who did you have to forgive in order to experience your next level of growth? Because unforgiveness holds us back.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for us to level up, family, we all want to level up, but we've got to do our work. So, who did you have to forgive?
I want
I
to
had
go.
to forgive
All
me.
right,
I
Nicole,
would,
come on, girl.
I would say I had to learn to forgive myself. Um,
Yeah.
because it has to start with self first, before you can absolutely, like they say, you can't pour into an empty cup. Um,
Mhm.
you have to learn how to forgive yourself, no matter what it is. Because if you don't forgive yourself first, you're not going to be able to forgive anybody else. So it always starts with self for me. So
Mhm.
that to me is the biggest thing of forgiveness.
I love it. I think we all know that one. Ditto on that one because that's like step number one.
Yes,
That is,
absolutely.
if you don't do that, you're not going to get anywhere.
That is chapter 1 of my book.
All right,
You're so
there
right.
you go.
That is.
Get that book. Okay, Sandra, where are you?
It's the same for me. I had to forgive myself. I had to forgive myself for allowing certain things to happen to me. Because in order for me to be able, like Nicole said, to forgive someone else, you can't forgive someone else if you're still in a place of unforgiveness because you're holding on to hatred, anger, bitterness. And if you
Come
still have
on.
that inside of you, how are you going to forgive somebody else? Because you're mad at them too. You're probably mad at them for what they did to you, but you've got
Mhm.
to forgive yourself. And that was the hardest thing for me, forgiving the person who hurt me. Because, I mean, I used to have 3 lists when I was a teenager.
Okay.
If you got on list number 1, then we probably gonna be okay. We were gonna be cool later. I'd let you know. I'd pout a little bit. You come on back over and we good. There was
Okay.
list number 2. List number 2 was you were gonna have to forgive me. You were gonna have to ask for my apology so that I could forgive you. And then I
Okay.
was gonna, sort of like, okay, I'm gonna forgive you, but it's gonna be with a long handle spoon. You can't
Okay.
come back
Okay.
on me as close as you used to be. Then there was list number 3. There was no coming back. It was
Mm.
a done deal. We were done, and you know it. Because every time you saw me, I was rolling my eyes. I even had the nickname "World's Worst Eye Roller" because I would. Mm-mm. No, we not. Mm-mm. We not friends. We're not associates. It's a done deal. I'm not even speaking to you.
Oh.
It was just over. But my thing is, I had to forgive myself first. And then I had to learn to forgive them because I'm wasting so much time in my mind thinking how I can get you back, why I'm mad at you, but you still going on with your life. You're not thinking about
Right.
me. So why
Right.
am I harboring all of that? So once I learned to forgive myself, it was much easier. Okay, we ain't got to break bread together or whatever. We ain't got to go out, but I'm going to
Yes.
forgive you. I'm going to love you with the love of Jesus Christ, and I'm going to keep it moving. It's up to you if you want to accept that apology because I had to realize certain people are never going to apologize to me anyway. So why
Mhm.
was I sitting there waiting on them to apologize? I'm going to
Mhm.
go on with my life. I'm going to love you. We going to be good,
Mhm.
and I'm going to let Jesus Christ handle it.
There
Mhm.
we go. There we go. You know,
And forgiveness is chapter 1 in your book. It's chapter 3 in mine.
there we go. There you see, we got to talk about it. You got to work on it. And listen, just for the record, I want everybody to know these are two different things, and they are forgiveness, and the other one is reconciliation. They're
Yes.
not the same.
Yes.
No.
They are not the same at all. So Boundaries, 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 people. You can forgive and give somebody over
Mhm.
to God and still stay safe. And you might have to forgive somebody over and over again because the enemy will creep
Yeah.
that resentment back up. Just re-release it,
Mm.
forgive it, and then move on again. You
Yeah,
have
but
to
I
keep
think
doing it.
sometimes, Coach Love, a lot of people feel as though if I forgive them, then that means that I am condoning the act that they did. It's not saying
Mm-hmm.
that you condone the act.
Mm-hmm.
It's just saying that I'm not gonna harp on it.
Mhm.
You were wrong, but I'm still gonna forgive you, even though you were wrong for what you did.
Right. Right. Exactly. It means that I'm not finna drink this poison and hope you die.
Right.
That's what it means. That's what it means. Okay, Miss Reba Bell, come on, give us your forgiveness, girl.
Mine is I had to forgive my mom.
Oh.
And that's over and over and over and over again. And
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the biggest ones because I had to realize she was doing things that she was doing from her past and her childhood because of her hurt. And hurt people
Mm.
hurt people. And so, like I said, it was continuous thing, is a continuous thing to this day. Because I can't get in my feelings and be like, that's my mom. And I think if we all know, we all love our moms. That's kind of hard because it's like, okay, you want out of all people keep on hurting me, but at the same time, tables turned. Sometimes I knew I hurt my mom too at certain times, and
Mm-hmm.
so you can't act like you was perfect either in the relationship. And so it gets to a point where now she's 65 years old, you gonna have to forgive her because she already stuck in who she is in her ways. Not saying that God can't change her, but at the same time, it's for you to accept certain things and move on from it and see who God has her to be, because it's more great characteristics about my mom than negative characteristics, but those negative characteristics still can get under my skin to this day. That I be like, ooh, but I would say that was my biggest. It's still my biggest journey. It's forgiving my mom and understanding that sometimes her love is different from what I would want it to be, and the way she shows her love is not. Um, Contingent upon just because how I want her to show her love, she shows her love the way she shows her love. I know my mother loved me, but I know who she is too, and she's not a beast or a bad person at all. She's part of the reason why I'm the woman I am today, because she raised me to be independent. She raised me to be a strong woman. She raised 6 kids by herself. So she has so many characteristics that I love about her. But she does have those, I'm gonna get under your skin. So I would say my mom. My mom was my toughest to this day, still biggest testimony to forgive.
Mm. Mine is a little bit different. I had to forgive rejection.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Because, baby, rejection had a hold on me like you wouldn't believe. Rejection hurts. Um, and I really just had to start to look at rejection truly as God's protection. It's no, so it's no.
Absolutely. I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I had to learn to lean into the rejection at the same way. I'm a recruiter, so we are going to hear no. In some situations, no just means next, or sometimes no means not now. I'm not thinking of no in that sense. I'm talking about when God puts something in your heart, and you believe that you're supposed to have it, but in all the way that the things are going to work out, the answer is no. With those big rocks in your life, for one person it might be marriage, or it might be children, or it might be having a mother to raise you, or your dad in your life. You know what? all of that is not on that person, and maybe the answer is no. I'm going to use my dad. God put a boundary around. I really was born a daddy's girl. I always love the idea of a dad. I love that idea. But my dad did not have the values that I know that are most important. He does not have character that I want to lift up and celebrate. And but for God, for um, causing him to reject me, I might have picked up on that man's character. And woo wee, I'm like, woo, goodness gracious, I'm glad I'm not like that, because I don't I don't celebrate how he handles things and how he does people. I would never want to think that was okay. And he's made plenty of money and all of these kinds of things, but he doesn't treat people like I think they should be treated. And I would never want to uh, pick up on that kind of manipulative way. And so I'm very thankful that I was rejected so that I can grow my heart to the way I know is best.
That's great. Y'all both have spoke to me with Reba and her mom and you and your dad. Like that, that's great. Because you can find little, like the things that they did or
Mm-hmm,
that affected you, um,
mm-hmm.
you know that's not what you want. So you absolutely try to change that to make sure that you're showing the most love and care to other people that are around you. So that was absolutely great, but from both of you guys.
Thank
Excellent.
you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Hey, family, we are going to get on out of here. But listen, y'all, I am going to say this to you. Here we go. Baby, baby, baby,
Here she go with her songs.
we had something special
Come
here.
on.
Oh, baby, 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 baby. It's been real good, but we gotta get on out.
I'm sad that it's over. I was having a good
Yes,
time.
you know what?
Yeah.
It is so good. It is addictive. But girl, shoot, we got to get on out of here. We've been here a little bit of a minute. Believe it or not, we'll be doing another Queen's Vision because I got more stuff to give you. There are a ton of questions we didn't get to, but that's all right. Save more for next time. Bye
Absolutely.
bye. There we go. Bye bye for now,
Bye.
guys.